Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about the creation of YouTube, the history of YouTube, what's going on YouTube, education on YouTube, so much. Birth of YouTube. Birth of YouTube. Let's start with the genesis of YouTube, where it all began. YouTube was created in 2004 by Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawed Karim, who, side note, graduated from the same high school as me. Yeah, so we're both alumni, same person, both amazingly wealthy. They created YouTube as a video sharing platform and experienced wild success, being bought out by Google within 1 year of its founding for an astounding $1,650 million, leaving all the other attempted video sharing platforms in the dust. Rest in peace, Vimeo. Now, let's get into what is more exciting, the development of the platform itself, and progression of my monitor shut off, progression of content on YouTube. Okay, next section, history of YouTube, context, 2005 to 2009. YouTube all began with, I'm sure you all know, the video posted by YouTube co-founder Jawed Karim, who went to my high school. Oh my God, that's so cool. Titled, Me at the Zoo, on April 23rd, 2005.
Alright, so here we are in front of the elephants. The cool thing about these guys is that they have really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
2005 was dominated by just random videos of interest, just chaos, but for some reason, a fascination of banned ads.
Yeah. Ripped in the club.
2006. We see the growth of some of our first internet celebrities, most notably OK Go and the Goliath of today, Smosh. But with Anthony, this guy, so it was better. Also, the niche, but known by YouTube veterans, Lonely Girl 15. The iconic video of that baby laughing came out. That's so funny. I'm sure you've seen it. And one of the most popular videos of all time, Charlie Bit My Finger, which took the world by storm. Besides that, music videos started to take over, garnering the most views with extreme replayability. The generic content stood no chance. In 2008, we see the birth of smaller communities. Smaller, this is not the sign for smaller. Smaller communities on YouTube, with gaming content starting to hit the scene, starting with, of course, Call of Duty, citation, alongside of the insurgency, not the insurgency, that's military, with the insurgence of this new content style.
'Cause you're hot and you're cold, you're yes, then you know, you're
here they come down the hill. Looks like Ruben is in the lead, and here comes Allen.
It's white, it's back, and it's white. We fight, we break up, we kiss.
We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
We used to be just like twins, so in sync. The same energy. Now's a dead battery.
In 2009, we see a lot of pivotal viral videos for people my age, and in my avenue of YouTube.
What's going on?
Why is this happening to me? Is this real life? Ding, ding, I've been
Stay in your seat.
Ding, ding. I still fun. Bam, bam. And this will be forever.
Then in 2010, education on YouTube, which is where the main topic of this video starts, to, in my opinion, grow. Educational videos on YouTube. As you can tell, up to this point, none of the greatest hits are very educational. They're not teaching you much. Around 2010 was when we started to see educational content pop up on YouTube. I went through the top 20 or so educational channels on YouTube and averaged out their start dates. And the average was that these channels were created just around 11 and a half years ago, so in 2010. Obviously, there isn't a clear start date because it's such a given genre of content. It's been around forever, but Khan Academy, possibly the most used video-oriented learning channel. It's massive. It's been around forever. It's 15 years old. It's wildly successful, while lots of other self-made non-corporate channels hit the scene closer to 10 years ago, as opposed to the 15 years that Khan Academy was. These are revolutionizing the way younger people are learning, making, as cliche as it sounds, learning fun. With channels like Kurt's Gazette having incredibly high production animations about the most mind-bending ideas, or someone like Michael Reeves who makes incredibly chaotic videos involving programming and some mechanical engineering, influencing tons of people to get into his field. Also, with the Goliath of today, Vsauce, who has joined the platform on October of 2006 and began posting February of 2007, but by the alias of PoopLicker888. So he was obviously not making educational content then, but he was just posting random funny clips. And then around 11 years ago, rebranding to Vsauce and switching to more educational content.
Vsauce, I've got a quick and fun video for you today because I made a mistake. Last week on episode 10 of IMG, I showed a picture and I said, cats and dogs cooperating. However, if you look at the picture for more than a second, you can tell that it's not a cat, it's a monkey.
Around late 2010. And now having 4 YouTube channels with a total of 26.5 million subscribers and 3,600,000,000 views. Clearly, the educational sector of YouTube is flourishing and ever growing. People love it. But the important part of education is if it works. But does it work? A study done by researchers in Morocco, and in fear of severely butchering their names, I'll just put them up on screen right here. Boom. Titled, The Impact of YouTube Videos on Student Learning. Citation, look at that, okay. Published in June of 2012 by the IEEE, which is the Institute of Electric and Electronics Engineers, found that, and I quote, the result of the studies have shown that students understand and can remember the complex concepts much better when they are exposed to a visual explanation video, i.e., the information that was retained better with YouTube videos. So they did a study where they had tons of students specifically that didn't know anything about programming, and half the students were given educational videos involving programming, teaching them, and the other half was given just normal textbooks, conventional ways of learning in school. And it found that the students that did visual learning with YouTube videos, these were literally YouTube videos from YouTube, learned way better and retained the knowledge better than the students that learned via textbook. They preface this by saying, due to the more simple and intuitive nature of the content, the easier it is to retain by most people/students, which this clearly lends itself incredibly well to the traditional presentation of information on YouTube, putting it in a simpler, funner, more entertaining and engaging ways. So with this information, we know that educational content is a useful source of information. It does work to teach students, and students are enjoying it. They're having fun learning. Now let's go and focus on the development of YouTube. The platform updates, what we're seeing happen over is like the breadth of its life. So over the course of YouTube's long life, it has gone through tons of changes. It is drastically different from its birth in 2005. I'm gonna go over the most notable updates. Obviously there are tons. They do like little bug fixes here and there. I'm not gonna go into all that, just the big drastic changes that you guys are gonna care about. So in 2004, YouTube was created, and then in 2005, videos start popping up. Soon after, the first change was added of the long forgotten 5-star rating system, which was added in August of 2005. Soon after, the playlist function hit the scene in October of the same year. Then, in December, YouTube leaves its beta and officially launches. In March of 2007, YouTube shortly adds the 10-minute video limit, and we're soon to realize that they're mistaken and removed it. August of 2007, ads are added, allowing for creators to start generating some income and also allowing for YouTube to be less of a financial burden on Google. November of 2009, YouTube starts to support 1080p videos. March of 2010, the 5-star rating system gets replaced by the new universal like and dislike system. April of 2011, live streaming is introduced to the platform for the first time, allowing for an entirely new form of content. November of 2011, YouTube analytics are added, allowing the creators to know more about their video's performance. September of 2016, there's a massive jump in UI. YouTube began to resemble the YouTube of today. September of 2016, YouTube Heroes was added, which was one of YouTube's biggest failures. October 2019, double ads are introduced, allowing for pre- and mid-roll ads to now be 2 instead of 1. In November of 2021, we get the most controversial and drastic change to the platform: the removal of the YouTube dislike button, which we loved and utilized every day until its removal. Now, it's just the like button. Well, you can still dislike the video, but the count is not public knowledge, so if I dislike, I won't see the effect, which practically renders it useless. Currently, there's a third-party Chrome extension that will soon be patched out, but as of right now, I can view the dislike count on videos, but only when this extension is available, and most people aren't even gonna know it exists, and if they did, they wouldn't even know what to do to get it. But with the disabling of the like button, YouTube themselves said this, here's a citation, check it out if you wanna read it for yourself, but viewers could still see and use a dislike button. But because the count was not visible to them, we found that they are less likely to target a video's dislike button to drive it up this count. So people are disliking less overall is what this is saying. So even with the extension enabled, that dislike number is gonna be drastically lower than it likely would have been if the dislike count was still public. Why does this matter? With the dislike button being removed, we have a new problem. We can no longer gauge the video's reception. How do we know what YouTube as a community thinks about a video? Typically on YouTube, you gauge a video's reception by the like to dislike ratio. If there were an overwhelming amount of likes with little to no dislikes, then a video is liked, obviously. Typically, if there are around 20% dislikes or more, you know that the video is not trustworthy or the creator said something controversial. Or more on topic, educational videos and if they can be trusted or not. Is this good information that the creator is telling? That's what the likes to dislike ratio can tell you. With the removal of the dislike button, it is that much harder to know if you should trust the information. You can obviously go to the comment section. But number one, comments can be disabled and selectively removed by the creator. And number two, that takes so much more time than a quick glance at 2 numbers. Anyone can do that. There is no quick and practical foolproof method to check the validity of a video without digging through the potentially filtered comments, especially with tutorial videos where you're being taught how to do a specific task. These are everywhere. This is one of the biggest things on YouTube, tutorials. Especially for younger internet users who are looking for help. There are so many tutorial scams on YouTube for teaching you how to do something. For example, free Robux scam. That's like one of the biggest ones. It's really goofy, but free Robux scams. Where a creator says, oh, click this link or download this file and it will give you unlimited Robux. Basically, just having you give the person all of your account information. First of all, I should tell you what Robux are. On the popular kids game, Roblox, the in-game currency that you pay with real money to get is Robux. And you can just buy skins or anything, access new games, something like that, I don't know. But kids want it, it's a big thing. The creators having you give them all the personal information for their Roblox account. If you look at this example right here, you can see it has 1,300 likes. That's a ton of likes. 1,300, that's a really big number, especially for a smaller creator. And 60,000 views. So it seems trustworthy enough, right? If 1,300 people liked it, a ton of people viewed it, that seems really good. I'm gonna totally listen to what this person's telling me. But if I enable the current extension that's available, now the dislike button jumps up from the vacant space to 1,100 dislikes, which is an incredibly bad ratio. 50% likes to 50% dislikes, which on YouTube is insanely bad. So if I were a child to stumble upon this supposed scam, I can easily realize I shouldn't trust this video. A ton of people disliked it. But with dislikes removed, I just see that 1,300 likes and think I should trust it. Conclusion. So, this decision by YouTube possibly jeopardizes the educational community of YouTube, making it much harder to trust an unfamiliar content creator, which I think is a great disservice to the platform. What is to truly be gained from removing the dislikes? Nothing. YouTube's defense of this decision is that they're protecting smaller content creators from being dislike bombed, which is insane, because how is that true? This is the weirdest part of my opinion, the dislike count is still available to content creators. So with this removal of the dislike button, there's practically nothing to be gained and so much to be lost. Thank you for watching.